familiar faces joining. My inclination is to like push and like wave at people, but I can't do that. I'm so powerless here.
You can say hi as they join, though. Nothing wrong with that.
I'll just wave the entire time.
So tell us, I guess, first of all, let's start off with tell us a little bit about yourself. Who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there.
Sure. Okay, cool. Wow, it feels really weird to be on this side of the camera. My name is Konstantinos. For those of you who do not know who I am freshly 31 years old. I live in New York City. At this moment, I'm in my cabin about 360 kilometers north of New York City. Dealing with the current situation that we're in now. I own Kill NYC. So, Kill NYC, a jewelry company. I don't want to kill anybody. I always have to clarify the reason for the name. Kill is my initials, actually. My middle name is I, and my last name is L. And NYC, of course, is self-explanatory. It's NYC, New York City. So, so what do I do? Obviously, I own a jewelry company. I have a day job as a medical researcher. I work in a virology lab. My boss is a medical biochemist. So we do all sorts of things with that. That's probably less exciting than jewelry. What else?
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. I'm very left and right brained. I'm very creative, but I'm also very scientific. So I went to school. I just actually finished a degree, but let me just backtrack. So I went to Utah State University. I graduated with 2 bachelor's degrees years and years ago. I went back to school recently. Did not get my nursing license, but I did finish my RN program. So I would just have to get licensed to become a nurse. Decided that wasn't for me, obviously, because obviously I would be licensed, and decided I wanted to study biochemistry. So I just finished that program in December through CUNY School, the City University of New York. So it's just been very busy up until December, managing a jewelry company and also, of course, working a day job and going to school. It's been pretty brutal. So I have a very eclectic background. I am one of those people that I graduated from from high school very early. I graduated, I think, almost 2 years early. And I went straight into college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. It took me a really long time to figure out. I bounced between majors, and jewelry was something that was actually came in before that. I did a program at Parsons back when Parsons had metalsmithing programs. They, I think, ended in 2003, and I was there from 2001 to right before 2003 even began. So I did a metalsmithing program there. I've been on the bench on and off. I was on the bench for a year after that, and then my teenage years happened, and I went to boarding school, and I didn't pick up a mallet or anything or jewelry saw, I think, until 2011 or 12 maybe, and eventually got back into it, started learning new techniques, and I also learned more about antiques, and that's primarily what I deal with in my business. I also have a jewelry line that I produce in New York City. It's all done by hand. It's all a lot of work, and I really, really love what I do. It's definitely been, that's been like the struggle for me, is like learning how to balance 2 different things in my business, and also like while trying to keep to like my I guess, my own expectations of craftsmanship and other things. I have a lot of things to show. I'm like, did I bring everything? I think I did. But I work really, really hard. So I guess to summarize everything, you get a nice big introduction, and I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate that because I don't really share a lot about myself necessarily on social media. But yeah, this is where I am now. So where I am now is I graduate next month in biochemistry. I have a virtual graduation because of the pandemic, or I might get to walk in 2021. I don't know, but I don't know if I'm even gonna walk, but I'm just like operating my jewelry company, and I really do love what I do. This has been a good opportunity, this pandemic, to kind of reevaluate how I run my company, reevaluate my designs, everything. I'm hanging in there as much as everybody can.
Virtual graduation. Wow, that's so different to think about.
It is, and Monica just also brought up a comment. I travel the world. I don't get teased about it. I'm never teased about it, but people, I am a notorious world traveler. During the summers, I actually move away. I usually move to Japan for the summer. And I do travels here and there. So last year I went to, I think, maybe 20 countries. And then the year before, something like that as well. I'm always somewhere. So again, being in this age of the coronavirus, it's been really weird for me. I'm supposed to go to Europe. Unfortunately, I had to cancel my plans for June. I might still go in July, but there's so many, unknowns. But I travel a lot to get that inspiration for my jewelry line. I am very lucky. I have three very abled employees that actually run my company for me while I'm gone. I would be lost without Christy and the rest of the company. I would just I don't know how it was even done last year. It was like a pilot, like being away for 3.5 months and trying to operate while I'm on a completely different time zone. It was just it was a struggle, but
Not easy, that's for sure.
no, but it was worth it. I mean, it was just really funny. I would do these live videos at like, it would be in the morning for me. Which was really odd, because it's on Japan is 13 hours ahead of New York State. So, yeah.
So, do you speak Japanese?
I do a little bit. I certainly do not speak it as well as I would like to. I do speak it conversationally. I study Japanese folk dance on Saturdays, typically in New York City. So my sensei teaches in Japanese strictly. So I understand it pretty well. I'm a little bit bashful to speak it, but I understand it extremely well.
Wow, interesting.
I think it's the same reason why I think a lot of Japanese are bashful to speak English. There's not enough practice. I don't practice a lot with my friends because all of my Japanese peers, they all want to speak English. It's just how it is. But when I'm in Japan, it's like whatever has slipped out of my mind comes right back in.
How did you start going to Japan? Did you have like a friend that you wanted to visit, or you just decided I'm going to go and this is it? Or tell me.
10 and 6 and then 18 and 19, of course. Sorry, 2018, 2019. I started going every year for a lot of reasons. I guess really long story short, I'm condensing a very long story. But in 2016, I located my birth mother, who I had not known before, and I did a DNA test and found her actually through Ancestry DNA, which is like, again, I'm summarizing a very story, but I found out that my paternal grandmother was Japanese. So that was like the catalyst for me to want to learn more and more and more about Japanese culture, having been even never really experiencing Japanese culture or really learning about it. But it was like, I guess you could say, a race to learn more about where I come from. I don't identify, obviously, as Japanese. I did not study Japanese or learn about Japanese culture growing up. I'm actually very Greek. I speak Greek. My mother, my adopted mother, is Greek. We either speak English or Greek. Greek, especially when we're fighting, or fighting, especially when we fight in public. And I speak a few other languages as well. But it's just kind of how do you say, I really am very connected to traditional Japanese culture, so I just really love to study it and experience it. And now that I'm part of the Japanese Folk Dance Institute of New York, that's a whole nother like discipline for me. It's like someone studying karate or like learning an instrument. It's a discipline and it takes a lot out of me. But that's also kind of why I go to Japan. I study dance every summer. I know many regional dances all throughout Japan, actually. So
Quite interesting. So if I ever go, I'm gonna go when you go.
yeah, it's gonna be a party. Unfortunately, it's a little scary right now because of the coronavirus. But I'm hoping that Japan acts swiftly and gets their everything in order so that their citizens are supported. Really, really, really scary. But again, my plans to Japan were also canceled this summer. But there's a possibility it still might happen later on in August.
So do you stay with extended family when you're there, or you book a hotel? And how do you do it? Tell me more about it.
Good question. I typically when I stay in Tokyo, I stay in my friend's hotel. She has like really nice lofts on the top floor, so I can just let myself in. I actually have the key, so I stay there. And then when I travel, I usually stay in a hotel. I once stayed with a distant cousin when I was in Kyoto, but it was a little uncomfortable for a lot of reasons. So I usually just stay in hotels, or I stay rarely in what do you call them, hostels. The hostels are a lot nicer in Japan compared to other countries. So like you can still have your own room and own bathroom and for a fraction of the price, but it really just depends. And I have friends all over. I usually stay in their hotels, in their ryokans. So it just depends on where I am in the moment.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, where were your plans to go this, you said you were going to go to Europe, but before the coronavirus. So what
Yeah.
were you were planning to go to what, Greece or?
Um, Supposed to go to London for a buying trip for antiques for a week. I don't know if Lucy Verity is watching, but I saw her join. I was gonna come and visit Lucy at her booth at Portobello Road, and among others. And then I was supposed to meet my family in Croatia, and I was supposed to go to Split myself, and then I was going to meet them in Dubrovnik, I think. And then we were going to circle around and see all of the Balkans. I had been to most of those countries, but I haven't been to Bosnia or Serbia. Yeah, those are the ones I hadn't been to. And so yeah, it was going to be a nice experience, and then end up in Greece for several weeks. I haven't lived in Greece since 2010. It's been almost 10 years. I think. And so it's been a really long time since I've seen my family, and then I've been able to, be there. I have that's another long story as to why I don't go to Greece anymore. But and then after that, I was supposed to end up in Japan, and then I was supposed to also do from Greece, Turkey, um, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Taiwan, oh no, Malaysia and Singapore to see my two friends, Taiwan, and then Japan.
That's a lot to cram in.
Yeah, I should say this is over like I think like 3 or 4 months. I was gonna or 3 or 4 weeks. Sorry, I was gonna travel to Japan and be in Japan. I think for 3 weeks after that. And still might happen. I just don't know about the others. I mean, I might have to book at the last moment. I'm like pretty sad about it, but that's all things considered, I'm happy to be healthy. Most importantly, and I'm happy that most of my family and friends are healthy right now. So
Yeah, that's super important.
yeah,
And the travel, you'll get back to it. No big deal.
yeah. I've already decided that if things go back to relatively normal, where I'm able to travel, I'm just going to push my plans back and disappear in September and October, and then come back and work the holiday season. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm just this has been a really good time for me. I mean, I've been working on a lot of jewelry design, so like haven't been doing anything very, how do you say, like very hands-on. I've just been drawing and sketching. I don't have any of my programs to render anything. I have nothing at my disposal, but I have been drawing. And so once the time comes, when I go back down to the city at the end of May, hopefully, I'll have some jewelry designs